Baseball and Whatever with your host, Justin McAwee.
Because I was on campus and I had to appear like I was one of the cool kids, I would put the Star Wars book inside one of my textbooks so it looked like I was just studying for class.
All right, look, there's only one return, okay? And it ain't of the king, it's of the Jedi.
Vincent Francis Jankowitz IV.
I'm a glorified fact checker.
Last I checked, the most runs in a game wins.
Actually, I am a fact checker.
And Greg Probst.
If you look at most Bond fans movie rankings, they have Casino Royale and Majesty in their top two. For me, these actually rank in the bottom part of my list. I mean, I love them, but they don't compare to Diamond Cuts Forever.
No, stop getting Bond wrong!
Alrighty, everybody. Hello. There's Vinnie. It's Justin here. We are back. Episode 76 of Baseball and Whatever. This week, we are talking baseball free agency. Justin Fields and the amazing godlike ability he has at quarterback. And how it's being wasted right now with the Bears defense. And then we are going to, we've done our Slimed 5 where we pull random episodes of TV shows we like and we rank them, but we are diving into the deep end of the pool this week. We are going to rank our top 5 Office episodes of all time. We had a bunch of people write in. We had a voicemail call in from friend of the show, Cody Del Mendo of CHGO. We will play his voicemail in its entirety. Remind me, Vinny, I need to tag him when we get to that part so he can he can jump on in the chat. Maybe we can get him in the chat if he's not, busy doing work. But yeah, we're here to go. We're ready to go. Before we start, breaking news, third amigo of the podcast, third co-host, Greg, is now the proud father of a brand new healthy baby boy. I figured you had something lined up. James Daniel, which I'm going to go on a limb, and I'm going to say that James is for James Bond, and Daniel is probably for Daniel Craig. Does that sound right?
It's Daniels.
Oh, is it Daniels?
Is it Daniels or Daniel?
I thought it was Daniel. Oh, man, we're horrible uncles, Vinny.
Right. Oh, it's a great start, that poor kid.
Greg, don't listen to this episode of the podcast.
Yeah, right.
I thought it was Daniel,
yeah,
James Daniel.
Maybe it's Daniel. I don't know.
Okay.
I was exhausted this morning.
He's going to play this back for young James or JD or I don't know what they're going to call him. Jimmy, is that what they're going to call him? Jimothy?
That's what I'll call him.
Jimothy?
Right?
Speaking of the
Office. It's got a good rapper name.
It does. So, Greg and Ashley, Vinny's sister, we are so happy for you guys. Congratulations.
Congrats, guys.
Congrats. Thanks. Thanks again for making us uncles, I guess. I don't know. I'm trying to think of I didn't know what to say there for a second. Yeah, so we're psyched for them. Also, breaking news, we have some international listeners this week, which we've had in the past, but it's kind of died down. It's been mostly domestic lately. We now have some listeners in Holland, over in Dutch country.
Oh.
So I'm going to try my best in Dutch to say thanks for listening. Here we go. Are you ready?
Nope.
Bedankt voor het luisteren. There you go. Thanks for listening.
This is going great.
So we'll see. If we have more international listeners, I'll try and learn some language. It's not going to go well.
There you go.
It was better than my New York accent, though, so we'll go.
Yes, it is.
All right.
So that actually sounded pretty good, Justin.
Sounded like Dutch. I am not Dutch, but I think it sounded like Dutch. All right. So a couple things. We were going to talk about The Office. We have, like I said, we have Justin Fields. We have MLB free agency. Nothing major is broke. We do have one big hot take that Vinny's going to drop on us. He's going to drop a big load on us on this one. We have some listener comments.
This is going great.
But before all of that, if you want to write into the show, there's a variety of ways. You can comment on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/baseball whatever. You can reach us at Twitch at twitch.tv/baseball whatever. Tweet us at baseball and what. We are on our way to 1,000 followers. I think we're close to 1,000. It figures we're so close to 1,000 and actually making a brand that now, Twitter is falling apart at the seams. We'll see how that goes. But Email us at baseballwhatever@gmail.com. You can find us on a variety of podcast apps, pretty much any of them. You can also find us if you want to check out the other awesome podcasts on the Belly Up Sports Network that sponsor us and kind of keep the lights on StreamYard. Check them out at Belly Up and Friends. They have all their podcasts, including ours, if you want to subscribe to them to see what else they offer. But make sure you subscribe to ours separately as well and give us a 5-star review. We'd appreciate it. You can also text us or write us a voicemail at 1-913-808-3278. That number again is 1-913-808-FART. All right, it's episode 76. So like always, famous 76s that wore the number in Chicago. Vinny, I got nothing.
Well,
we're in like overtime here, and I have no clue what any of these players are or who they are.
well, there are no White Sox for this week. We have one Chicago Cub.
Okay.
Back in 2000.
Oh, God. I should know this then.
Probably not. I've never heard of this guy whatsoever.
Who is it?
Daniel Garibay?
No, I have not heard. I feel like this is going to be...
Garibay.
I have never heard of him. I'm sure he's a great guy. I hope he's a great guy. This reminds me of, was it over the summer we mentioned that we didn't know some minor league pitcher and then they liked one of our tweets?
Yes.
Remember that? And then we said, hey, you want to come on the show? And we never heard from him again. So, yeah, we tried. But
that's probably because he listened to the show.
He probably listened to the show and he's like, look at these assholes talking crap about me.
This guy only pitched 1 year. That 2000 season, he showed up with the Cubs. He aged 27 is when he made his debut.
Okay.
ERA of 6.03 with a WHIP of 1.701. Not the best.
Not the greatest, no.
Yeah, that's
2000.
So yes, that was his only year in the majors. So not too good. So yes, that's probably why you don't remember him.
Do not remember him. 2000, I would have been, oh God, 7th grade. I would have been almost 13. Those were the days. Actually, no, I hated middle school. Middle school was the worst. All right.
And to correct our earlier point, it is James Daniel, not Daniels.
Not Daniels. Okay.
Yeah, so
James Daniels
Craig,
was
I'm assuming.
Yes, James Daniels was a Bears player, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
There you go.
Yeah, the lineman. He's now with the Steelers.
Yes, that's correct.
So that's probably what I was thinking subconsciously.
See, you're dedicated to your craft. I appreciate that.
Not really.
No. What else you got for us in terms of numbers?
All right, we got number 76 for the Bears. There's one big one you should be able to get.
What position they play?
He was a lineman on the defensive side.
Roberto Garza?
Yeah, defensive nose tackle. He was on the 85 Bears team. This guy has been currently in the news struggling with
Steve McMichael.
Yes, correct.
Yes. He's fighting ALS, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes, he is. Unfortunately, yes.
Poor guy. That's rough.
Yep.
Okay.
Currently, nobody's wearing. Oh, hold on. Yep, we got one guy wearing it currently. He's on the offensive line. He's the only good guy that's been playing consistently well.
Tevin Jenkins.
All year. Yes, correct.
All right.
Other than that, let's see. Tom Compton, that name rings a bell.
Okay.
Mitch Unrein.
No.
2015 defensive lineman.
No.
Orlando Pace.
I remember Orlando Pace.
John
They dragged
Tate.
him out of retirement, didn't they? Or was he near the end?
No, that was last year with the guy from the Eagle, Peters.
Marcus
Peters.
That's
or
right.
Or was it Marcus or... I don't
know
remember his name,
about,
but he was the Eagles guy that they kind of, he was thinking about retiring and they brought him in.
Yeah.
But I think Orlando Pace was on the verge of retirement. Maybe he was retired. I don't know. But yeah, I do remember that. It was like, I remember when he came to Chicago, I was like, oh, they got Orlando Pace. He's going to be great. And it didn't realize that 34 for a lineman is like, he's done at that point.
Yeah.
John Tate before that, he was on the Super Bowl
I remember John
team.
Yeah.
He was really good. Other than that, Sean Lee, 98. He only played in 98. Ron Rydalk.
Okay. No, it doesn't sound familiar
75 to 80. No. Other than that, nobody else. John Melkus?
No.
John Johnson, Bill Staley. Yeah, none of these guys are ringing a bell for me. So, yep, that does it for the Bears.
Okay.
Moving on, only one Blackhawk. Would you be able to guess him? 2022 this year.
Oh God, 76.
Yeah,
What's he play? What position does he play? Does it say?
bench warmer.
Oh.
Defense. Shoots left. He's from the Czech Republic. Drafted by Chicago in the 5th round in the 2017 NHL entry draft.
And he's Czech. I should know that then. I have no idea.
It's a J and a G, but the J sounds like a Y.
Jan? No, I have no idea.
Jakub
Not
Galvis?
No, I have no
Jakub
idea.
Galvis?
I've never heard of him.
Galvis?
No.
No.
You keep
Yeah,
saying
so-
it. I don't know.
Maybe it'll ring. It
Maybe
stir
it
something
it
in
would
your
stir
mind.
around
I don't
in
know.
there. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, he's played in 6 games, so probably the
okay.
6 games you haven't watched this year.
Okay, gotcha. No, I haven't.
And
I
that
have
does
not
it.
seen him once. All right. Well, there you have it. There's our famous 76s. We do have well, I shouldn't say quite a few. We have 2 YouTube comments this week. Would you like me to take them, or you want to take them, Vinny?
You can take him this week.
All right. David on YouTube reached out and said, thank you for the timestamps. I know he also reached out to us on Twitter and said we would be the first baseball podcast he would listen to because he is a Bears fan and we were going to talk about the Bears. So,
Is that the same guy?
yes, David, if you're listening, thank you for listening. We appreciate it. We will talk about the Bears later. If you want to skip the baseball talk, the timestamps will be in the show notes. And then your dad, Pretzel Vince, on YouTube, and he texted in. He said it was great to have the Oh, your poor dad. He said it was great to have the 3 amigos back together last week. We were able to get Greg on for a little while. Obviously, he's going to have his hands full now between work and a newborn baby. So who knows? Maybe
Plus
Greg will
2 daughters.
And plus 2 daughters and his wife and a dog. What else? Am I missing anything else? I think that's it.
Video games, his backlog.
Oh, that poor man. He buys video games like it's going out of style, and they're just sitting there.
Well, they are going out of style. They're getting rid of the media, their hard copy media.
Yeah, that's true.
He's buying it all up because it's all going to digital.
I made the mistake. I told him, like, if there's a sale that's better digitally than physical, I'll buy digital, and he was not happy with me. He's like,
I'm sure he probably
So,
shunned you the rest of the day.
I broke his heart a little bit there. But yeah, your dad said it was great to have the 3 of us back together. It was so much fun. And then we were talking today when I got home from work because he was here to watch Maddie today. He said, great interview with Jason Kendall too. We had a long discussion on some things, and he gave me a couple ideas of if we end up having Jason on again, discussing like what the managerial interview process is like. Obviously, we don't know if Jason interviewed for any managerial jobs, but I know he's probably done some interview jobs and stuff like that in the past in baseball. And is it, some of these interviews you hear about, they're like 2 days, 3 days, and they're like 5-6 hours long. Like, what is actually discussed? Is it giving you situations and counts and you're making decisions? Who knows? So that would be something interesting. I'd like to see what he has to say about that. So there you go. If you haven't checked out that Jason Kendall interview, it's 2 episodes ago now. Highly recommended. It was about 50 or 60 minutes, about 50 minutes. We dive into everything from the steroid era to what it's like to be a catcher and get injured, his really, really nasty injury, and just some of the other stuff in baseball in general that he had thoughts on. So highly recommend it. Check it out. All right, we are ready for the hot takes, Vinny.
Greg's Hot Takes.
Now you want to get nuts? Come on!
Hell yeah.
All right, want to get nuts? Come on. Let's get nuts!
All right, Vinny, I don't know if you can hear that right now, but that is a wave of angry Star Wars fans coming for you. So,
I know.
Vinny, tell us your hot take.
I am not in love with Andor right now. I'm 9 episodes through. I think there's 10 out right now. I don't know how long the show is going, but I don't find this interesting at all. It is boring most of the time. The peaks and there's peaks and valleys throughout the show, The lows are super low where I am disinterested. It is not exciting whatsoever. I mean, they're literally, I could use the Randall Clerks 2 when he's describing Lord of the Rings. I can use that to describe an episode. That's how boring it was.
That bad, huh?
It was not. It's not good.
Okay.
I don't. The characters they had, like Cassian Andor. I wasn't really. I didn't find his character to be all that likable in Rogue One.
In Rogue One, like I loved Rogue One, but I think maybe we talked about this because I know the three of us went to go see it. When I remember getting in the car and being like, I loved that movie, but I didn't know any of the characters in that movie. Like,
yeah.
It didn't matter, but like, yeah, in him to build a show around him. I mean, like, I'll give it a shot. I haven't watched it yet, but I was kind of surprised. Yeah,
but and also the thing is, I had it built up. Jaybird and Dr. Mantis were building up the show, saying that it was going to be better, like the best one. It's not. I'm so if you think it's better than The Mandalorian, you're dead wrong, because I think the worst episode of The Mandalorian, which was the episode of the Frog Lady where they get stuck on the ice thing.
Oh God, yeah, that was a rough
was it
one.
The giant spiders?
Yes,
right.
Yeah,
that was still more exciting than the majority of the episodes of Andor.
Really?
Yeah, I'm dead serious. I should say that's my opinion.
Yeah,
obviously other people do, but they feel differently because, like you said, someone told you it was great. I know. Yeah. Jaybird and Dr. Mantis have been telling me that I'm dead wrong on this, but the characters aren't exciting. They have a real douchey rent-a-cop in it and
okay.
a Gestapo Karen, pretty much.
Oh wow. Okay.
The only thing the show's got going for it, which I would put it at the same level as the Book of Fett. Like the Book of Fett, the characters were really interesting.
Yeah.
I love the characters. It had more excitement than Andor. Andor's very, very slow.
Really? Okay.
Yes. And the characters in Andor just aren't exciting. But the thing that Andor that I like about it is you have the world. You're seeing lots of different worlds in the galaxy, which it's refreshing to see. I'm not going to lie about that. That's nice to see. And you also get to see, like I said, you get to see not the military side of the Empire. You get to see more of the Gestapo, FBI, police side of it, where they have like their own. I think they call it the ISB or something like that. Which is
Imperial Security Bureau, right? Is that what they call it?
Yep.
I know that from the extended lore books I used to read. Yes.
So they have that, and you get to see that. But other than that, like there's not anything really going for it right now. And I know Jaybird and Dr. Mantis say, well, they're building the rebellion. You're getting to see the rebellion built, and it's like I'm not seeing it. Like, it's very slow. They could have made this a movie. I think it would have been better because it would have been forced to push it along quicker, where they're trying to fill episodes, and it's just they don't need to. It's just not. I don't know. It's not doing it for me. I don't like it.
All right. Well, here's the $1 million question. Gun to your head. I say, Vinny, we are gonna watch episodes 7, 8, and 9, or you're gonna watch all 10 episodes of Andor. What are you picking?
Oh, Andor.
Oh, okay. All right.
Andor.
That okay.
I would
that
still
gives me a
pick
frame
Andor
of
over
reference.
the sequel trilogy. Absolutely not. I don't want to venture in those waters again. Those are just awful.
Yeah.
It just doesn't do it for me. I think there needs to be more to it. I mean, it's just there's 2 episodes where they're building up, where you know what's going to happen, and they're building it up, and it's just like, get there, come on. Like, I don't need this lull here. It's just, it drags significantly at parts. Like I said, there's peaks and valleys, but the valleys last way too long, and they're just too boring for me. So I would like to hear someone that has a more of an extensive background on the extended universe and
a
all
more
the intricacies.
Refined Star Wars palette. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, and to see what you think of it. Because it just doesn't do it for me. So
we will.
that is my hot take. Is Andor is not good.
I know I'm still waiting for our damn new treadmill to get delivered. Yesterday I had to run outside. So once that gets delivered and I have time to just sit and watch a show while running, I will start Andor and report back. So
there you go.
You've lowered my expectations. So now what that means is I'm going to go in with so lowered of expectations. I'm going to come away thinking, oh, this is great. This is just like the Justice
This is
League.
the best Star Wars thing ever.
This is just as good as what's his name?
Justice League.
It's going to be great.
Yeah.
All right. Well, stay tuned for that. I will let you know what I think. Real quick before we get to the baseball talk, we want to thank our partner In the Clutch for joining up with us here. In the Clutch is your awesome sports apparel company that is known for their licensed MLB, Negro League, and MLS apparel, along with great shirts to rep your favorite retro hockey, baseball, and football teams. Head over to intheclutch.com, find a shirt you like, add it to your cart, and at checkout, use promo code BASEBALLANDWHAT to get 10% off your order. Once again, that's intheclutch.com, find a shirt you like, add it to your cart, use the promo code BASEBALLANDWHAT, all one word, and you will get 10% off your order. So thanks again to the folks over at In the Clutch. All right, Vinny, let's do some baseball talk. That is not the drop. Well, I mean, that is a drop.
This is going great.
That's not the correct drop.
No, it's not.
Baseball.
Welcome back to Major League Baseball. Sort of.
Taking a look at Chicago's two favorite teams and other happenings around the MLB.
I just want to apologize. The Andor has broken my brain where I don't know how to function anymore. That's how bad that show is. That's what you think of Andor,
isn't it? Right? I mean,
yes.
It's spot on. So, all right, we're going to get to this in a second. Vinny had a great idea with obviously being free agency, not a lot of baseball news at the moment. Free agency just started. But throughout the weeks, we're going to take a position that we can look at both on the south side and north side of town and kind of break down and analyze what needs they might have that are on the markets. But before we do that, Vinny, you found there's rumors of the White Sox cutting payroll already?
Yeah, I think it was James, is it Fagan? Mm-hmm. Is he with The Athletic?
Yes, he is.
He had leaked that, that the Sox could be looking to cut payroll,
wow.
which isn't good for a team in contention. I don't know how true that is. I would like to think that he's got some inside knowledge, working with The Athletic. So if that's true, that is, God, I don't know. I mean, technically, are they saying the window's shut then?
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, I guess that's what it means.
I mean, if you're slashing payroll, you're not looking to spend. But I don't know. This is going to be a very interesting offseason for the White Sox. If they're truly looking to slash payroll, and I know one of the Cubs bloggers was saying that the Cubs should look at if the White Sox are looking to slash payroll, look to pick up maybe Yoan Moncada and fill in the third base side if it's cheap. I know was it Luke Stuckmeyer from CHGO had talked about trading Patrick Wisdom and Ian Happ for Yoan Moncada near the trade deadline, and no way would I do that. I want him to keep Ian Happ.
Same here.
And I think that would be too steep. Maybe if it was like a Patrick Wisdom, Yoan Moncada swap or something like that, with the Cubs absorbing the money in that deal. Okay, take a shot on a guy that's
broken a little bit, yeah.
Broken a little bit. Hopefully you can kind of find whatever he had. It was in 2020. I think he had that really good year in 2020.
Yeah.
So yeah, if they can get that, get him for cheap, why not? I'd take a flyer on Yoan Moncada for the Cubs.
I'm just
Fills
surprised.
A need, so.
I mean, you got the new manager. I'm just shocked that Jerry Reinsdorf is already slashing payroll. Like, that just blows my mind. I don't know.
No surprise, though.
No, it's not. I feel bad, though, for the Sox fans. I feel bad for Greg because,
yep.
I meant to text him today and say if he was going to let James grow up a White Sox fan or if he was going to push him away from that because of all the pain he felt this offseason, this summer.
Yeah,
he
might push him. He might just push him out of baseball. Don't even
yeah,
be a
I'd be
baseball
like, forget
fan.
it. Go get into something else, anything but baseball.
Right.
All right. So we were gonna, like I said, we're gonna try and pick a position each week. This week, Vinny picked starting pitching. So do you want to start with the White Sox on this one, and then we'll dive into the Cubs, or what would you like to do?
Sure, we can also look at we'll look at we'll
then
start
who's
with the White
available, I
Sox
guess?
starting
Yeah.
pitchers. We'll start with players that received qualifying offers. That's done, I guess, right now. So there's 14 players that received a qualifying offer. Aaron Judge of the Yankees, Trey Turner of the Dodgers, Xander Bogaerts with Red Sox, Jacob deGrom of the Mets, Dansby Swanson of the Braves, Carlos Rodon of the Giants. Bummer. Brandon Nimmo of the Mets, Wilson Contreras of the Cubs, Chris Bassett of the Mets, Anthony Rizzo of the Yankees, Tyler Anderson of the Dodgers, Martin Perez of the Rangers, Jock Peterson, which was kind of surprising, of the Giants, and Nathan Eovaldi of the Red Sox. All received qualifying offers. So that means they all have draft compensation attached to them. So that's going to kind of factor in on the decisions when looking at the free agencies. Now, the Chicago White Sox, their current depth chart on ESPN lists Dylan Cease as their ace, Lance Lynn, Lucas Giolito, Michael Kopech, and Davis Martin as they're in the current depth chart for the starting rotation. Let's see. Is Lucas Giolito, is he... I thought he was close to being up. I don't know if he's got one more year left.
Yeah, I think he's
not.
got maybe 1 year left, if that. So,
okay. So, of the current starting pitchers out there, there's Clayton Kershaw, Trevor Bauer, which no one's probably going to sign him.
Yeah.
David Price, Jacob deGrom, Justin Verlander, Carlos Rodon, Noah Syndergaard, Nathan Eovaldi, Zach Greinke, Sean Manaea. Sean Manaea might be a good fit to be on the backside of the bullpen.
That would be nice.
A left-hander. I'm just trying to think. They really just need a fifth starter. And let's see here. Oh, I lost the. Let's see. I'm trying to think on who throws what for the White Sox right now. Left-handed, because I'm trying to think of
I
good
honestly, I'm drawing a blank myself. I honestly don't know.
Okay. Let's see here. Dylan Cease throws right. Lucas Giolito right. Michael Kopech right. So they could probably use. What does Lance throw? He's a right. Man, yeah, they got a lot of. And then Davis Martin, is he even on this list? Yeah, Davis Martin.
That's a good one.
He throws right. So they have all righties. So they could probably use a couple lefties.
Hector Rondon.
Might work.
Not Hector Rondon. Carlos Rondon. Sorry.
Carlos
Rodon. Oh my God. Carlos Rodon. Not Hector Rondon.
This is going great.
We're batting
this is
1,000
a really rough
tonight. This is a rough episode. They're not all like this, folks. I swear.
Yeah.
Not all of them.
For lefty, I don't, again, if they're cutting payroll, what the hell are they going to do?
I don't know.
Sean Manaea, he's a lefty. Carlos Rodon, lefty. They have, I think he's going to be too pricey. Spot Track has him at $32 million market value. Sean Manaea's at $11 million. So, and again, he'd be a backside of the bullpen. God, I don't even know what the hell we're talking about. Starting pitcher, he'd be backside of the starting pitcher because I don't think Davis Martin is going to be there, especially if you need a couple lefties in there.
Right.
Mike Minor, we got to go cheap on this. Trying to just think. Jeez.
I honestly don't know what
Drew
they do.
Smiley, but they're saying his
guess.
market value is better than Sean Manaea. It's at $14 million.
Wow.
With the way he pitched last year.
Yeah. I really thought he was going to re-sign with the Cubs too, to be honest. But
yeah, Jose Quintana could make his way back again. He's his market value.
That is a White Sox move if I've ever seen one. Would be to bring him back to be their lefty in the starting rotation.
So yeah, that's Clayton Kershaw, David Price, but David Price is 37 years old. Clayton Kershaw is only 34, so maybe, but I doubt he's going to go to the White Sox.
I could have swore I read before we started that there was talks already or rumors that he was signing another 1 year deal with the Dodgers, but who knows if that's true or not. So
yeah. Wade Miley's out there.
That could be a good
that would
pickup.
be an option for him. I don't know what that would cost. He's 35 years old. That currently don't have a market value for him, so that might be an option. God, Rich Hill. Oh God.
Man, the lefty starting pitching options are slim pickings. Holy cow.
Yeah, Matt Boyd's a younger arm. They don't have a market value out there for him currently. Danny Duffy, at 33 years old.
I didn't. That's it. Oh wow! I remember when the Cubs.
He was
were
with the
in on him a
Dodgers
couple
last
times.
year.
Yeah, I remember when he was a Royal, I believe, right?
Yep. Yeah, he was a Royal for a long time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I would assume that they're going to try to look for at least one or maybe two, but again, they're an enigma if they're supposed to be slashing payroll, so they're going to be getting guys on the cheap. If they're going to do anything, like I said, they could be, I don't know. I know Garrett Crochet's coming back. He's a lefty, but he was out. What?
He screams bullpen guy to me, but I could be wrong. I don't know.
Yeah, I know he was in the bullpen. And I don't think that they're gonna. He's coming back from injury. I don't know if it was Tommy John surgery. He just was recovering from. But yeah, I don't think you're gonna want to just throw him into the starting role, or at least rely on him. I mean, with the way they treated Michael Kopech, they're probably going to be on the slower side. Pitching him, getting him back. So yeah, I don't know where they're gonna go. They got a ton of righties right now, and just pitchers in general. Not a lot of lefties. So I would assume they're gonna get one or two, and I'd probably go. God, I don't even know where they're. I don't even know where they can go with that.
Oh.
Maybe Wade Miley, and he pitched well when he was healthy. The problem was he wasn't healthy. The best ability is availability, right?
That sounds. You're not wrong.
So I don't know. Rich Hill, he goes out there and can throw the ball every fifth day or whatever. So maybe Rich Hill comes back for at age 43 and wants to throw it again for the White Sox. Who knows? I don't have anything else. I don't know if you would have any thoughts.
Unfortunately, I have
nothing.
I mean, I think you pretty much nailed it. It's not. Oh boy, I don't know. It doesn't look good.
No.
Doesn't it? I feel awful for White Sox fans. Like, that's all I got. I really.
Yeah, and they don't have the Japanese pitcher. What's his name? Senga or
Senga? Yeah.
Not.
They don't.
No.
They don't
is that what? I can't think of it.
Yes, I know who you're talking about. But yeah, I have not heard anything with him and rumors with the White Sox though. So
yeah, I haven't either. I don't think he's even
blip on the radar. I don't
there.
think. So
no. So
yeah.
Okay, I guess we can probably move on to the Chicago Cubs. It's a little bit more interesting.
Yeah.
Because the White Sox are just depressing right now.
It is. And I feel like I said, I feel bad. I feel horrible, and I'm not even a Sox fan. I have no rooting interest in what happens to them, but I feel bad for White Sox fans. All right, so Cubs starting pitching. Do you want to go through like the depth chart first, or what would you like to do here?
Sure.
All right.
Yep. Let's see here. Marcus Stroman, according to ESPN's depth chart, Marcus Stroman, Kyle Hendricks, Justin Steele, Keegan Thompson, Hayden Wesneski is the starting five, going from 1 to number 5. So Hayden Wesneski slots in at the 5th starter.
Okay.
It's not a bad one. I think Keegan Thompson's a bullpen guy.
Yeah, or at least a gap guy, like to go back and forth.
Yeah, the swingman type of role.
Yeah.
So at this moment, they definitely need an ace. I don't know if it's Kodai Senga.
There you
go. Is that he's a guy that can hit 101, so he can throw gas. I don't know, coming over from Japan, there might be an adjustment period for him.
Right.
So maybe he's more of a 2. He's not an ace, number 1 type guy, but I would like to see the Cubs get him.
I would.
He doesn't have a posting fee at all. I think he's got the same agent as Seiya and Yu Darvish. So I think the fit there is really good.
Well, I know Seiya has been kind of advocating for coming to the Cubs too, which, I mean, I'm always a fan of when I see players do that. So that's really neat. I don't know. I think that would be a great pickup. Now, my question for you is, if he's the only big time starter they get, are you content with that?
And they didn't get he's their ace, and then they got an additional piece, or
some back of the rotation,
like a Drew Smiley.
Yeah,
they re-signed because they didn't.
Talks.
He declined his option, and because I thought his option was like $8 million or something, $8 or $9 million. It was under 10, and right now they're saying his market value is around 14. So I can see why he declined that. So. Yeah, if he's their ace that they go get, and then they get a depth piece like a Drew Smiley, I'd be okay with that. It would be nice if they went and got somebody else. If they, I don't know, because Jacob deGrom's a big name out there, but he's got a draft pick attached to him. He's great when he pitches. The problem is he's never healthy.
Correct. Justin Verlander, I think he's a free agent, right?
He's a free agent. Yeah,
I mean, up there though in age. That's the only.
He's 39, almost 40. 3 months he'll be 40 years old. So I know a lot of people are advocating, get Justin Verlander on like a 1-year deal.
Sure.
When's Father Time going to catch up to him? That's my thing. He can't keep pitching like he is. It's gonna hit him. It's just like Aaron Rodgers. Father Time has caught up with him and Tom Brady.
Time is undefeated in that regard. So
exactly. So I don't know. I would rather see Noah Syndergaard, to be honest. I'd
be okay with that. See what he's got left.
His market value currently they're saying around $15 million. That seems pretty cheap, but maybe I don't think he's got he's not a qualifying offer guy. So he's available and out there. He pitched all of last year, so there wasn't an issue there.
Correct.
I know they've also been linked to Corey Kluber, so maybe if they get Corey Kluber as a back end of the depth piece type of guy, I'd be fine with that.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that.
I don't know. Again, there's a lot of options here. It's going to be interesting to see what happens how things are going to play out here. But I would love for them to get Senga. I think he's number one on my list just because he can throw hard. They don't have a lot of guys that can do that on the starting rotation. No. So that would be nice to see. Plus, just the Japanese connection with him and Seiya is always fun too.
And then maybe the year after that, you maybe bring over Shohei.
Yeah, Shohei, and I think Yu Darvish will be on the market then. So
that
get
would be
him,
awesome.
And we'll have the Japanese national team.
Hey,
playing in Chicago.
That'd be fine with me. So
I'd be fine with all those guys. Yep.
So so there you go.
I don't know where it's going to go for both teams, but the Cubs look brighter right now.
I keep refreshing Twitter to see if any big signings have happened yet, and there's nothing. Obviously, I know they're only supposed to negotiate with their current teams the 5 days after the World Series, and now it's technically just official because prior to that, I guess, would be tampering. Whether or not they would do anything about that, I don't know, but so we'll see. I guess next week we'll pick another position. We'll lay out who's left and who could make a run for the White Sox or Cubs. Real quick, we don't really need to spend too much time on this because I'm already pretty much over it, but the World Series is officially over. Vinny, are you happy for Dusty Baker? Are you mad the Astros won? Do you not care? Are you indifferent? Where do you stand on the World Series this year?
I'm indifferent. I just the whole I guess narrative of this puts the cheating scandal to bed. It's like no, it really doesn't. Like if their fans are expecting other people not to still be upset with it, like you guys go touch grass, like get with it. Like people are still upset with it because nothing happened.
Yeah.
There was no punishment. There was no apology from the players that, cheated. So yeah, I don't care. Good for Dusty. I guess, I'm not going to be upset, but at the same time, I don't care. Like, especially finding out that he nixed the Wilson Contreras trade.
Yeah.
That was unfortunate. But yeah, I don't care. Like good for Dusty.
Good for him. Like that's
it's
that's
kind of like
the
the
way I
Andy
took
Reid,
it.
like the guy that's always been close, like finally gets it. Like it was funny when he wasn't winning, like with the Nationals. They had the stacked
Giants,
teams and like and they just
Cubs,
couldn't win. It was comical, especially after the Cubs. But then like when the Cubs won, I'm like, I don't care anymore if Dusty like doesn't, if he wins. Like before that, I was like, no, I want the Cubs to win before Dusty wins because of it was 2004.
When they collapsed.
2003?
That was 03 was the 03. Marlins series. 04 was the collapse when they fell out of the playoff race. But yeah, I mean, I like him. He seems like a genuinely good guy. I liked him as a Cubs manager, although, hindsight, did he kind of overpitch Mark Pryor and maybe Kerry Wood a little bit?
Didn't Mark Pryor come out and say that he didn't?
Yes, he did. Mark Pryor has Mark Pryor had no issues with him. So in that regard, if Mark Pryor doesn't, why the hell should I have an issue with it? But yeah, like you said, I was happy he won finally. Gets that off his back. I mean that's really all I'll be honest, I barely watched any of the World Series. I watched maybe 2 games. I couldn't. The Phillies, I don't really care, and the Astros, I didn't necessarily want them to win, besides Dusty Baker. But do you want, before we move on to football, do you want to go over our predictions from the beginning of the year?
Yes, do you have? I have them up. Do you
I
want
do
to
not
go
have
over
them.
who actually won? Oh, you have them up
I don't
too?
have any of them. Do you have them with you?
I have the ones that we made, our predictions. Do you want to tell me who actually won, or we'll just go division by division?
Yes, let's do that.
Okay, we'll start with the AL East. Justin, do you remember who you had?
I think I said the Blue Jays.
Yes, we all had the Blue Jays. And the actual winner was
the New York Yankees.
Oh boy.
They were 7 games up on the Blue Jays for the division.
Yeah, we were not
really
good
missed
on
the
that
boat
one.
on that one.
All wrong. Well, going to the AL Central doesn't get any better here. We all had the White Sox, and the winner was
the Cleveland Guardians at 11 games up. 11 up on the White Sox. Wow.
Jeez. Yep. Not good prediction from us.
Nope.
Moving
We're 0
on
for
to
2.
Yes, not good here. Moving on to the AL West. You and I both had the Mariners, and Greg had the Astros.
All right.
And the winner was?
The winner was the Houston Astros.
Good job, Greg.
They were 16 games up on the Mariners. The Mariners did make the wild card, but and they were second in the division. But Astros steamrolled everybody in that division. Holy cow!
Yep.
106 wins.
Yeah,
all right.
That's unfortunate.
Yes, it was.
The NL East. You and I both had the Phillies.
Ooh.
Greg had the Braves.
The Braves
were
the division winners of the NL East.
Greg.
Greg's 2 for 4.
2-2 right now.
Yeah. All right. Oh, I'm looking at the NL Central right now. Yikes.
Yep. You and Greg both had the Brewers. I had the Cubs.
Oh, and it was the St. Louis Cardinals. Ugh. They were 7 games up on the Brewers and a whopping 19 games up on the Cubs.
And the Brewers probably should have won that division.
They should have.
That trade at the deadline just killed them. Moving on to the NL West, we all had the Dodgers, and the winner was
the Dodgers. That is correct.
Nice.
111 wins, most in baseball.
Well, Greg got most of the divisions right. I think he had 3, and
yes, he had
I
3.
think you were the next closest with
1.
One?
1.
Just 1? Yeah, I had 1 too.
So I had Dodgers and that
was it.
Yeah,
you got the Brewers wrong. Yeah. You and I were pretty much the same outside of the Cubs, Brewers, in the Central. So, we were bad.
Wow.
Although, for the World Series, You had the Phillies. You were the
I
only
did. I
one to
had,
get a team right in there. You had the Blue Jays over the Phillies.
Over
in
the
7.
Phillies, it would have been a recursor or a recap or a return of the 92 World Series, I think. 92, 93,
Okay.
93, 92? I don't know. Blue Jays won 92 and 93. I don't remember which one they played the Phillies against. But so, yeah, there you go. Who'd you and Greg have for the World Series games?
I had the White Sox sweeping the Dodgers. Oh, that was sad. And Greg had the White Sox over the Dodgers in 6 games. So
Okay.
he had a closer series. I did not.
You guys were Greg was so filled with such hope at the beginning when we made those predictions.
He was, and then it broke him.
It broke him. He is. The White Sox literally broke Greg. They broke his brain. So, yeah, we'll have to come the spring. We'll have to do some more predictions because that'll be a good time. So, all right. Well, I got no more baseball stuff. Should we move on to football?
I think so.
All right, let's do it.
Manures of the Midway, where the guys talk the pile of horse crap that is the Chicago Bears.
I mean, when you consider the other choices, manure is actually pretty refreshing.
All right. I'm trying to pull up the box score right now, and of course I'm not getting it. But you know what? The only thing that really matters, is the amazingness that is Justin Fields. Here is his stat line for last Sunday's Dolphins and Bears game. Yes, the Dolphins won barely, but he was 17 of 28, passed for 123 yards, 3 touchdowns, was sacked twice, 106.7 QB rating. But the main thing was that he ran on 15 carries for 178 yards, the most in a regular season game in NFL history, I believe, correct?
That is correct.
I believe he beat out Michael Vick for regular season, and I want to say Colin Kaepernick maybe had 3 more yards in the playoffs. Is that, if I'm not mistaken?
I thought he had, what was his? Yeah, he had 181 yards.
Okay.
Yep.
So, yeah. So, I mean, Vinnie, I don't know what else you want to add, but it was genuinely, I was actually watching the Bears game this past Sunday with optimism and excitement, and it wasn't like hate watching it where I'm like, oh man, I can't wait to see what goes wrong now. Justin Fields took that game over, and like that was like a coming out party for him. And what killed me is there's still some beat writers talking about how he's not going to be any good. Awful. Joe Crowley, I think his name is. No, not Joe Crowley. Is that it?
Joe Cowley.
Joe Cowley of
He's an idiot.
He's the Bulls beat writer, and he was saying that he didn't believe Justin Fields was going to be good. The one thing I keep hearing on sports radio here in Chicago is that, well, he can't pass, so he's just running. Well, okay, no, he can. He's proven he can pass in Ohio State. Mm-hmm. He doesn't have anyone to pass to. Claypool, I would argue that was pass interference at the end of the game.
The NFL came out and said it was pass interference.
And Darnell Mooney, okay, he's a decent receiver, but besides those two guys, no one else can catch a ball. I mean, even that play at the end of the game was it St. Brown? No, not St. Brown.
Yes, it was.
Went right through his hands.
St. Brown.
I mean, that could have changed the tide right there. So I can't stress enough how excited I am to see Justin Fields grow as a player. I think they have found their guy. I think he is the QB of the future. They need to build around him. I think he's pretty much guaranteed himself a second contract at this point because of the progress he has made. But they just need to surround him with better talent, and then I think things will really fall into place. And they need to revamp the defense because the defense is a sieve. It cannot stop anything at this point. Granted,
yep,
it makes sense. Robert Quinn and Roquan Smith are gone now, but yeah, I don't know. What's your take on all that?
You nailed a lot of good points, and most of them, yeah, I was going to say some of those, so thank you. Yes, that's the narrative that's coming out. A lot of people, the national media, are praising Justin Fields for his performance and calling him a star, and it's like, yes, this is what his potential's been. Like, everybody's been poo-pooing him and saying, oh, I don't think the Bears, they know what they have with him. You know, he's not doing well. Well, you know, the first 3 weeks they were They were trying to do pocket passing with a line that can't protect him.
Yep.
And then probably that mini bye might go down as one of the best bye weeks of Bears history, where they started implementing the Ravens offense into their offense.
Yep.
And credit Luke Getsy for that, like identifying that and saying, hey, we need to start doing this in order to have a functioning offense, because right now the lines, and it comes down to the line. It doesn't come down to Justin Fields' ability as a pocket passer.
No.
It comes down to the line. He doesn't have time to throw, because now when they're moving, and you saw it in the Dolphins game, when he had time to pass, he made that great touchdown pass to Mooney, dropped it right in there.
Yes.
He can pass from the pocket. I don't get what people are saying that, the past 3 games, 61.9% completion percentage, 73.9% completion percentage, and 60.7% completion percentage. And he probably would have had more completions if Equanimity St. Brown didn't drop the ball, or they would have called the pass interference, because that wouldn't have been an attempt. So he's completing passes. He's doing this offense. This is also another thing that people are saying, well, he's a rushing QB. That's just, first of all, that's BS.
Wrong.
If you look at the other 2 prolific, quote unquote, rushing QBs, Michael Vick and Lamar Jackson, if you look at their college stats, because we don't have enough for Justin Fields on his NFL stats to say,
correct,
is he a rushing QB or not. But if you look at Lamar Jackson, Michael Vick, Lamar Jackson in his 3 seasons in college averaged 1,377 yards rushing.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Vick averaged 649 yards rushing in his 2 seasons, and Justin Fields averaged a whopping 371. He's not a running QB.
Rusher.
No, he's fast, and I love watching him run, because it's just so smooth.
Yes,
and he's got great vision too. Like on that 61-yard scramble, the vision just to run and pretty much be untouched on that run was just beautiful to see. I think he's a great runner. Obviously, I think for him right now, the thing I want to see him improve on is knowing when to get down, because there's sometimes he's taking hits on those runs that he shouldn't be, but he's not getting hit a lot. He does get out of bounds. He's getting better at that. I would say at the beginning of the season, he was taking a lot of unnecessary hits when he was running out of the pocket. Now he is getting down a lot better. I still would like to see it be like sliding instead of diving, so that way guys aren't falling on top of him because he's diving forward, and then you get those big linemen jumping on top of him. That's happened a couple of times where it's like, oh, I just hold my breath hoping he gets up okay. But that Miami game was great. I can't wait. I really hope he builds on it again. It's been 3 weeks in a row, him building on that. I'm going to just put the stamp on it now. Done a while ago, because it's probably too late at this point. But he's going to surpass Sid Luckman as the Bears' best quarterback. It's not really
it's not a high bar
reach here, but he will surpass Sid Luckman, and he will be the Bears' best QB in franchise history when his career is over with, barring obviously any significant injury. I was going to say energy. That didn't make any sense.
Well, yeah. But it's funny. I want to say in one of the press conferences, he even said, this is weird for me to be running this much. And I'm sure Luke Getsy, to his credit, like you said, hey, we don't have the line for you right now to be making great throws, or the receivers for that matter. So this is what we're going to do to keep you alive and kind of accentuate your talents, which is being fast. And as soon as he's able to break at least one guy or get by one guy, no one's catching him. And to his credit too, like you said, Vinny, I even noticed it watching the Dolphins and Bears game. There were so many more times where he ran out of bounds, or and not because it was a clock management thing, but just like, avoiding the big hit, which that's fine. You've already got the first down. You've got like another 10 yards after the first down. Get out of bounds. If you can save yourself from getting a hit, that's fine. Or like you said, he's trying to improve at getting better at getting down so he doesn't get hurt. Also, Cole Kmet actually looked like a real football player last week. I was shocked. Yeah, I don't know where that came from.
That was impressive. Yeah, he had two touchdowns. His first one was a really nice. It was a good throw. and a good run, and a great block by Equanimous St. Brown.
Yeah.
That guy, he can't catch the ball, but he can block. Maybe we can get him on the line or something. He's a great blocking wide receiver.
Yeah.
And he sprung that block there along the end, or along the sideline for Cole Kmet to get in. So yeah, that was great to see. And I know, getting back to the offense, it's funny. They were talking on the Score today, and they were saying, well, can the Bears win with this type of offense? Is it sustainable? Well, they've put up 33 points, 29 points, and 32 points. I mean, if the defense can hold them to like under 20 points, yeah, they're going to win. I mean, this is a winning offense. And again, Fields isn't getting hit. He's not getting pummeled play after play on these runs. He's getting out of bounds. He's getting better at avoiding the big hits. So I think this offense is sustainable. I don't think it's the offense going forward. I just think right now this is what they have to do in order to keep Fields safe, is to do the runs, to have them worry about spying him. And it's funny, they still spy him and he still gets the first downs, which is great to see. So yeah, I think this offense for right now, it's what we're going to see the rest of the year, barring the offensive line figuring it out and them actually being a cohesive unit. I think this is what it's going to be. So I don't know if he's going to be lighting up the passing yards. Doesn't mean that he's, and that's the other thing. People are saying, well, he's not passing for over 200. He doesn't have to. He put over 300 total yards. Like, you have to look at that aspect of it. You can't just say, well, his passing yards are in 200, so he can't pass. He's a running quarterback. Well, again, we've talked about the running quarterback part. Yeah. That's not true. They are doing design runs for him because he can run, and that's part of one of his good skills. But it's not his game. That wasn't even one of the things they talked about him coming out of college. So to say that is just false. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this Lions game. I really hope he doesn't have a clunker. Yeah. Which could happen. It very well could happen.
He's going to eventually. He can't sustain this forever. Like no good quarterback can sustain perfection, So
yeah. So he could have a clunker, but again, with this offense, him running and them extending drives with his legs. Yep. It's you can see it. It's giving him confidence when he's throwing the ball. It doesn't seem like he's too hesitant anymore. Like the thing that was at the beginning of the season, he's holding on to the ball too long. I feel like he's getting rid of the ball quicker than he was at the beginning of the season. I don't have any stats to really back that up, but I think this offense is giving him confidence to start growing, and it looks like the game is starting to slow down for him, which is great for him and the Bears offense. And again, Luke Getsy for figuring this out and abandoning what they were originally doing and trying to get what works to suit him, which is something Matt Nagy refused to do in his tenure here over the last 4 years or 3 years, whatever the hell it was.
Did you I don't know if you listened to the Score yesterday, or no, I'm sorry, not yesterday, Tuesday, in the Parkins and Spiegel show. Danny Parkins said that if it came down to it, he would fire Matt Eberflus in order to keep Luke Getsy and make him head coach, which seems crazy to me. I don't know why you would. Luke Getsy is awesome, but I feel like Eberflus is the one that's building a sustainable culture that is going to continue to build. Getsy is great in what he does, but I don't think you need to fire your head coach just to keep him around. But that's just me.
No, and you don't know what Luke Getsy's going to be as a head coach. You can't just say, and we've seen that too many times. A guy's a great coordinator doesn't mean he's a great head coach.
Correct.
They're two different jobs. There's too much on the line. And then what? You're going to have Luke Getsy still call play, do the Matt Nagy thing where he's calling offensive plays.
We've been down that road. We don't need to go down that road again.
Exactly. So he's going to end up giving up. So if he's smart, he won't be calling plays. So he's going to give them up anyways to somebody else to call plays.
Right.
So what is
would be
moving
the
him
same
to head
thing
co-
as Matt Eberflus giving up to well, he doesn't call the plays, but let someone else call the plays. So what's it matter?
So I just no, I don't think so. If he's gonna go, he's gonna go. And I don't think Matt Eberflus deserves to to keep Luke Getsy around.
No.
I mean, Luke Getsy's doing a great job. I remember it was funny. The three games into the season, people were looking to fire Luke Getsy.
Yeah,
you remember that?
Yeah,
the people were upset
right.
with Luke Getsy, and they were upset with his play calling. And here we are now, and everybody's Luke Getsy's going to get a head coaching job. Like, okay, like he might, and if they keep progressing the way they're doing, he very well might get a head coaching job. We don't know that, but I wouldn't fire Matt Eberflus. No way.
Yeah, I agree. We have hi Justin and Vince from I Follow If You Can Burp. I don't know who that is. Hello. Thank you for watching. All right. I think we're ready. Oh, Bears Lions prediction. You got one? Score?
Bears 34, Lions 12.
Wow. I thought the Lions had a pretty good I thought the Lions had a pretty good offense though, didn't they? Or no? Oh my God.
Yeah. Well, they were good. Excuse me. They were good at the beginning of the year, and they haven't been good the past couple weeks. They put up 12 points against Green Bay. So, and Green Bay's just been in a downward spiral for the past couple of weeks. So,
fair enough.
No, I'm predicting 34-12.
All right, 34-12. I'm going to go, I'm going to go 38-24 Bears. 38-24 Bears. Okay. All right, are we ready to get to some whatever?
I think so.
All right, let's go.
He's on fire!
Nope, that's the basketball drop.
Now it's time for whatever.
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 Whatever you want. Whatever I want.
Whatever, dude. Irrelevant. Whatever, dude.
All right. We are going to move on to whatever. We are ranking our top 5 Office episodes of all time. I'm excited.
Are you excited, Justin?
Yes. It was very easy to narrow down my list. I think I did it in like 5 minutes.
It was so hard.
Really?
I didn't even do honorable mention. I neglected to do honorable mentions just because of the fact that there would be too many. Like I had my number 1, but everything else after that I could easily move around on depending on what day of the week you ask me. So
yeah. My number 1 was locked in from the get-go, which it came up numerous times. So. All right. So we have plenty of people that wrote in. We'll get to our list first. And like I said, we also have a voicemail, write in from Cody Delmendo of CHGO that we will play a little bit later as well. Vinny, take it away. It's your show, man.
Oh, it's my show now. Okay.
It's your show now.
Welcome to whatever baseball and whatever. This week we are ranking our top 5 Office episodes of all time. This is not a Slime 5 Office episode. This is every episode on the board for us to rank of our top 5, which made it incredibly difficult. I always like the Slime 5s because it makes it a lot easier to narrow down to 5. So yes, we are doing top 5 lists. As Justin mentioned, a lot of people wrote in because this is such a great show. I personally love this as one of my top 3 sitcoms. When we ranked our sitcoms, it was number 3 on my list. Justin, I think it was number 1 on yours, or did you have it number 2? Do you have It's Always Sunny number 1?
I might have had Sunny as number 1. I honestly don't know. I feel like that's another thing. Same thing with the best episodes. Is like you give me a certain day, I could choose one or the other and go back and forth. So.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. So we all love this show here. I don't think Greg's a big fan of it too, right? It's Always Sunny. That's the one he doesn't like.
Yeah.
Right?
Greg's never really gotten into It's Always Sunny, which still blows my mind. That seems like right up his alley.
I feel like he would like that show.
He would.
But okay, I digress. Let's move on.
right.
Justin, you started off. What is your number 5?
All right, so I got IMDb pulled up here, so if we want to go over any quotes. But my number 5, this is from, let me check. I believe this is from season 6, and that is The Golden Ticket.
Ooh, good one.
Is that is that episode 6? Season 6? I think that's season 6. It doesn't matter. I can't find it. All right, so yeah, that episode in general, absolutely love it. Season 5, Season 5, episode... this is going great. It doesn't matter. I'm looking at the list.
This is going great.
IMDb does not have the actual the episode numbers. It's just got a bunch of...
Yes, they do.
I'm
looking at I'm looking at my number 5, and it's got the season and episode number.
Oh, then I'm just looking in the wrong spot. All right.
You
Anyway,
are.
it's from season 5. That is Golden Ticket. If you don't know what Golden Ticket is, shit, now I lost it. Hold on. Good Lord. This is the worst episode ever.
What the hell is going on?
Oh, that's a deep one. Michael asks Dwight to be the scapegoat for a once of a lifetime business idea that backfires badly on him. But when that idea has been unexpected positive upside and results, Dwight still takes credit and Michael becomes furious. What if I'm not mistaken, Michael dresses up as Willy Wonka, goes around putting all these golden tickets in a shipment of paper. Unbeknownst to him, it's all going to the same client, Jim, one of Jim's clients. Was it Blue Cross? No.
Blue Cross, yep.
Okay.
The biggest account.
Yes, and Michael does not put on there stipulating one per customer, so he loses, a good chunk of money on that account, being their biggest account. David Wallace comes down. He is furious about this. Michael can't tell him whose idea it was. He says, I think it was accounting, or we hired an outside source.
Yeah.
And then he goes, I think it was one of the salesmen. And he goes, all right, was it Jim? No. Was it Dwight? And he's like, maybe. And then lo and behold, Blue Cross is so excited they make them the full-time paper supplier. So it turns into this wonderful thing. Dwight takes the credit for it, won't give it back to Michael, and Michael just has a meltdown. There's that great gif of him just going, thank you, because Dwight finally admits it and saying what a stupid movie it is, which I would agree. I hate that movie, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
You don't like that?
No, I've only seen the original once. I never saw the one with...
I never saw that one.
I never saw the remake
Depp.
with Johnny Depp, but no, that is my number 5. Great episode. Just him hopping around in the dumbass top hat and suit.
Yep. Like Willy Wonka.
Yes, I'm looking at some of the quotes right now. Okay, we need a golden ticket idea to get us out of this mess. Pam asks, what do we have? She says, does that mean an idea that blows up in your face? Good. Great episode. Also, I love the fact that's the one Michael runs down to the warehouse to figure out how did all these tickets get in one shipment. Yep. He goes to Daryl, hey, you idiot. And Daryl just looks at him and goes, start over. And like,
yep. Sir.
Sir. And he's like, I load pallets all day. And he goes, well, Michael's response is, what's a pallet?
Right.
So that is my number 5, the Golden Tickets. Great episode.
Good one. Yep. Very good one. Although that episode makes me a little angry because the pizza episode with the launch party, when he's got the 50% off for all the pizzas, it doesn't say on there, it doesn't limit the pizzas, but it's still limited anyways, so they could have still limited it. That wasn't they could have done that. Just because it didn't say it on there doesn't mean they could have limited it. So yeah, that always with that episode, it reminded me of the launch party, and it always kind of just bothered me that he didn't get. It's more so not that they didn't limit the Blue Cross client, it's that they didn't get the pizzas for 50% off. That's what really bothered me.
I do love too. There's the quote where David Wallace calls Pam in to take notes, and then they start, everyone's arguing, and he's like, Pam, do me a favor, don't send me those notes, throw them away. Like, just totally washing his hands. Now he's got like a 3-hour drive back to New York City. So
right, spent all that time for nothing.
No, absolutely nothing. let me get marketing on the phone. Just
Michael's breathing in. You can hear him breathing.
Is there a dog on this call?
Right?
Yes.
Oh, that is a good episode.
Great episode.
Nice choice. My number 5 was season 6, episode 6, Mafia.
Oh,
this is where Michael meets with an insurance salesman that visits the office and is later convinced that by Dwight and Andy that he's part of the mafia. Which that whole lunch scene where he goes out with the insurance agent and he's ordering gabagool, and then the guy's like, the insurance agent, very strict. If the salad's cold, I forgot what it is. The soup I order is cold. I send it back. And and then Michael's like, if the salad is not on the side of my plate, I send it back. He's trying to act tough too. And then what was it? Andy dresses up as a repairman.
Yes, and he goes out to
as
dinner
a car
as like a
repairman,
mechanic.
and he brings a tire iron with him to the lunch, and then he has to fix a car as they're leaving, and
what he's doing
doesn't know what he's doing, and he shorts out the lady's battery and tells her to call a mechanic because he doesn't work on. I forgot what cars he says he works on, but it wasn't normal cars. And
no,
that whole episode's great. And I like that they were lying about because Michael got scared of the insurance salesman because he thought he was in the mob. So then he bought a bunch of insurance. And so Dwight and Andy tried to get Michael to stand up to him and, try to boost his morale. And they say they talked to the FBI. Andy's got a friend in the FBI, and Dwight background checked his friend and found out that he was an impeccable guy, is a real sweetheart on the force or whatever. Yeah. And, and then Michael calls him up and, stands up to him and tells him he's not buying insurance and calls him a jerk or whatever. And they're like, you just stood up to the mob. And then Michael's like, what?
Yeah, exactly.
I love that whole part of that episode. That's great.
I don't know, Vinny, did you recognize the guy that plays the insurance salesman, what he's from?
Yes, he's from Dumb and Dumber.
He is Joe Mentalino, the, I don't know, hitman, is that what you'd call him from Dumb and Dumber? And he's also, I didn't know this, he is also the clown from Uncle Buck.
I haven't seen Uncle Buck.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah. So if John Candy, they order a clown for the kid's birthday party, and he comes in drunk, and he's like, listen, dude, you need to get back in your car and drive home. Otherwise, we're going to have a problem. And he punches the clown right in the face. So there you go. So yes, Mike Starr is his name. He's got a bunch of stuff coming out. He's got like 6 or 7 shows or movies. I don't know what they are, but still getting a lot of work. So good for him. I love
there was a quote in there. Michael talks with Meredith. I'm trying to think of the scene. I think he's just making small talk. And Michael goes to Meredith. He goes, so Meredith, how was your weekend? And Meredith goes, well, I caught my son taking a dump in the upper part of the toilet. He calls it an upper decker.
I just saw that quote on IMDb. Yes.
Oh, I forgot about that quote.
That is the first time I've ever heard an upper decker referenced as something, but apparently that is really a thing. So, I don't know why you would do that. That water doesn't go. Never mind. We don't need to get into it.
Yeah. So. But my number 5 was the Mafia episode.
The Mafia.
So
great episode. All right,
Justin, to you, number 4.
I do. My number 4. This one popped up a lot on our write-ins that people had. I also believe it was a Super Bowl episode, if I'm not mistaken, and that is, Vinny, do you know what I'm going to go with this one?
I think so, but
stress relief.
What? At number 4?
Yeah, I got other ones in front of stress relief.
Oh.
So stress relief is my number 4. I won't say too much. I'll save that for you. But this was a full hour-long episode. I still remember this was right before your sister and I started dating, like 3-4 months before we started dating. We were talking on the computer while we were watching this. That sounds really lame now in retrospect, but but I remember it was right after the Super Bowl, or it was during halftime. It was something to do with the Super Bowl. And yeah, great episode. Stanley has a heart attack because Dwight plans this crazy fire drill and, throwing cats up into the drop ceiling. And the Office Ladies podcast did a great job talking about how they did not actually throw a real cat up there. they had a stuffed cat, and at the very last second, they cut away from Angela throwing the cat, and then they had another person up in the drop ceiling that they built, and they had another cat ready to drop down gently so you would never tell the difference. It was really cool when they explained how they did that. Favorite part of that episode by far is when they're doing like their breathing or whatever activities, stress relief in the conference room, and Stanley's got the heart rate monitor on his finger, and anytime Michael gets close to him, it starts beeping, and they start to realize that Michael is the problem. Also, I love it when Michael comes back at the end and starts roasting everyone.
Yes.
Jim, you're 6'11" and you weigh 90 pounds. Gumby has a better body than you. Boom, roasted. Dwight, you're a kiss ass. Boom, roasted. Pam, you failed art school. Roasted. Meredith, you've slept with so many guys, you're starting to look like one. Roasted. Kevin, I can't decide between a fat joke or a dumb joke. Boom, roasted. Creed, your teeth call, your breath stink. Boom, roasted. Angela, where's Angela? There you are. I didn't see you behind that grain of rice. Roasted. Stanley, you crush your wife during sex and your heart sucks. Boom, roasted.
Oh, that's great.
And then he goes on. Oscar, you're gay. Andy Cornell called. They think you suck and you're gayer than Oscar. Boom, roasted. So
you know what's funny about that is he didn't roast. He just said Oscar was. He goes, Oscar, you're gay.
You're gay. He didn't roast him.
Roasted.
He just said,
No.
yeah. That's it. So, great episode, funny episode. There's something about him sitting at the park by himself, throwing bread to the
loaves
pigeons.
of bread, or
he's throwing single
whole
loaves
of bread.
Yeah, it's just bizarre.
You call him for the crows. I guess they all flew north or I forget, like east or west or something. I thought they all flew west for the winter.
I've done that caw noise a few times to your sister in public, and she'll just be like, "What is your problem? Why are you doing this?" So, caw. Yeah, there you go. I'll throw it back to you, Vinny. Go ahead.
All right, my number 4 was season 1, episode 5. Basketball.
Oh, wow.
This is where Michael and the staff challenged the warehouse workers to a basketball game with a bet to work on the weekend, as the winner doesn't have to work on the weekend.
Correct.
This was I think the first episode I ever saw, or the first one I ever remember seeing. This was such a funny episode, just like them taking time out of their day to play a basketball game to determine who works on the weekend, and then it ends up they have to work on the weekend because the warehouse workers just intimidate Michael to work on the weekend, which is great. This was like Michael at his like cringiest, like he didn't only cared about himself type of thing. Like he was awful at basketball too, which I think made it great. Yes. And he would throw the ball one-handed up there for a shot, and then it would bounce off the rim. And he was like, "I usually make those." that's a great line. I love that. I love that the people he had playing were awful. Like Stanley didn't know how to play basketball, I loved it when Stanley first gets the ball and he starts flat palm bouncing the ball, and he sticks out his arm to block somebody, and just Michael's like, "Are you serious? Like this? What is going on?"
And I love too. Doesn't he say something like, "Why? I picked you because or something like that?" And he goes, "What do you mean?"
No, that's when he's picking everybody for the team, and he goes, "Stanley, obviously, Stanley."
That's
and Stanley's like, "Why, obviously?" He goes, "Well,
Yeah,
and it just gets really awkward, and then Phyllis is like, "Oh, I'll play," or did she say she? No, she would be a cheerleader. I used to play in
high school. Yeah, I was a cheerleader in high school or college, or something like that.
Michael went, "Yuck." And then she gets on the team because of that.
Yes, I do remember that one. That's a great
one.
But
that just was one of the first episodes I saw. It's just really funny. I just also love like when Michael's first down there, he's like dunking, and then they move the hoop up, and then he's just like, "Uh-oh." Like it's like, did he never ever play on a regular sized hoop where he would realize that, I don't know why I'd make a bet where we would be working on the weekends if we win, and I'm the star of the team when I can't shoot on a normal sized hoop, unless he was just thinking they were going to play on the low sized hoop the entire time.
Yeah, that's true. I honestly don't know. That's a really good observation. So
I'll kick it to you,
great
Justin.
episode. Great episode. All right. My number 3, right? We had 3.
Yes, we are.
All right, my number 3, season 4, episode 1, The Fun Run.
Ooh, good one.
This
one's
that.
actually my number 3.
Okay, great episode. The first thing about this episode I love is the intro. Michael talking about how what's his name? Is it corporate now? I'm already
Ryan.
drawing him. Ryan's at corporate. Jim is back. Everything's good. Or Dwight is back. Everything's great. And then he hits Meredith with his car. And just out of the blue. And the way she fought,
way she looks.
Yes. And then she rolls off the car. And my second favorite part of that episode, and this is all like within the first 2 minutes of the episode, is just him walking into the office, and he's like, Meredith was hit by a car. It happened this morning in the parking lot. I took her to the hospital, and the doctors tried to save her life.
Right.
They did the best they could. And then you see Pam, like, she's covering her mouth like she's going to start crying. And Michael goes, and she's going to be okay. And I just love Stanley. What is wrong with you?
Right? I know. I love that.
Phrase it like that. Other great quotes. Michael, I'm not superstitious. I'm just a little stitious. Great one.
I like to say that line a lot when I think about superstitions.
Yes, and then also the talking head shot of him in his office. Do I need to be liked? Absolutely not. I like to be liked. I enjoy being liked. I have to be liked, but it's not like I have a compulsive need to be liked, like my need to be praised. So, but and then my other favorite part too is when they're gonna go ride to the hospital to visit Meredith, and Michael's like, "Well, I can drive. Who wants shotgun?"
Right.
And Stanley's like, "You ran over a woman this morning," and his response is, "Everybody inside the car was fine, Stanley." It's just like it's just awesome. And I think that's like the backstory is Kevin and Oscar are trying to figure out if Pam and Jim are dating.
Yes, they are.
He has that epiphany, like they would go together like PB and J.
Yeah.
Pam, Beasley, and Jim. What a waste. He just gets all upset. So yeah, definitely.
Yep.
Definitely. Oh, and also then the double jeopardy. I'll leave some for you to talk about, but go ahead.
But yeah, I like the Jim's quote. One day Michael came in complaining about a speed bump on the highway. I wonder who he ran over then. That was good. And then him trying to get Meredith to apologize and have everybody apologize or do the apology in front of everybody. And then I think he tied his the balloons on her, like, I don't know, IV, and the IV comes out, and then he's trying to put the IV back in. Yeah, that was gross. That was and then Dwight putting the cat sprinkles.
Oh God, in the freezer,
the freezer, yes, and then it came back alive. She vomited out the pain meds that Dwight had OD'd her. Tried to OD her with, and she threw them up, and then was alive in the freezer and clawed all the peas or something like that.
Yes.
That was pretty funny. I liked on the fun run when was it Stanley, Creed, and
Oscar, I think, right?
Was it Oscar? Yeah, they all
go to the restaurant to get drinks.
Cab to, yep. They were all cheering on Michael as he passed them. And he's like, "I am like Forrest Gump, but I'm not an idiot." What is that? That's the line, I think it is. But yeah, then they all go and get drinks and cocktails, at a bar while everybody else is doing the run, and then they took a cab to finish the race too. That was great, and I like how they did the race. Was it a 5K? Meredith Palmer 5K run for the cure.
Race for the cure. Yeah.
Yeah. It was It was a 5K. Oh, it wasn't a circle.
In one direction.
It was just one direction, and they sat there.
Yes.
And Michael refusing to drink water.
Yes, he's got to carb
because, solidarity with the rabies victims, because they, rabies victims have a fear of water. So he didn't drink water the entire time. Yes, and the carbo load when he's having the Alfredo, again, that's something else I like to say when I'm eating pasta or Alfredo. Oh, gotta carbo load.
Or I love too when they're in the hospital and Meredith says she's had a lot of painkillers, and then Creed just all of a sudden shoots to the front Well, what kind? Codeine, Vicodin, Percocet, fentanyl, Oxycontin, Paladone, what? And she's, I have no idea, and he gets all upset. So
yes, that's great.
Also, Pam walking in on Michael changing.
Oh, that's right.
Because he says come in, even though he's half naked, changing for the race.
Yes, that's right.
And then she tells Jim she saw his dangling participle, which
yes.
as a former language arts teacher, that always made me crack up. So, and then he's like, see, this is how you enter a room. May I come in? And then he knocks, and then he opens the door, and she's like, no, you don't. That's not how you do that.
Yeah.
So,
and then see where it started, but she saw where it ended.
And then Andy's got the Band-Aids on his nipples because of nipple chafing.
Yes.
That's
great.
That's great.
That was funny. Yes.
You know, and then she asks Michael, on average, how many hours a day do you spend naked in your office? And his response is European offices are naked all the time. Like, where did he get that? So, great. Just a great episode. 4 Americans die from rabies every year. So I'm so glad we could honor hold on, let me find it. The Michael Scott, Dunder Mifflin, Scranton, Meredith Palmer Memorial Celebrity Rabies Awareness Fund Run Race for the Cure. They're Pro-Am.
Yes, Pro-Am. Don't forget the Pro-Am. That's the most important thing. And I loved how they got the stripper to accept the check, and Michael's like, "Oh, you're a nurse now."
Back to school.
Yeah.
Oh God, that's such a good episode. That's another hour-long one, if I'm not mistaken, too.
Yes, it is.
So, very cool. Very cool.
All right. That was my number 3, so I'll kick it back to you for your number 2.
All right, this is another one. Wow, this has a 9.0 rating on IMDb. I should have been going over these ratings, but this is from season 2. There's the episode numbers right there. You got to click on it first. Season 2, episode 12, The Injury. Michael Scott burns his foot on the George Foreman grill. I love that episode. It makes me laugh so hard every time.
That's so great.
You find out, Dwight gets the concussion because he's going to race back to save Michael from his burnt foot. Just the opening line of, I enjoy having breakfast in bed. I like waking up to the smell of bacon. Sue me. And since I don't have a butler, I have to do it myself. So most nights before I go to bed, I lay 6 strips of bacon on my George Foreman grill. I go to sleep. I wake up. I plug in the grill. I go back to sleep. Then I wake up to the smell of crackling bacon. It's delicious. It's good for me. It's a perfect way to start the day. And at one point, Jim says he wants to clamp Michael's face in the George Foreman grill. You also have Ryan crushing aspirin and putting it in his chocolate pudding.
Yes.
And Michael's like, I can feel the blood coursing through my foot again.
Right.
And Stanley calls
Ryan's
him
kindness has healed me.
Yes. Stanley calls his foot a mailboxes, etc. I don't even know if mailboxes, etc. is still around, but
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. But it's great.
Dwight's concussion's just fantastic during that episode where Dwight's actually nice, and I like Pam when they take him to the hospital. Bye, Pam. Yeah, why are you saying bye? I'm not going to be gone forever. Well, it's not going to be there, or something like that. It's not
going to be
the
different
same
when you come back.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that. I also love when they're at the hospital and he's writing down why he's there instead of why Dwight's there. He's writing down burnt foot. And then also with the car ride over, Jim is having to squirt both of them with a spray bottle because Michael's acting like an idiot and Dwight's obviously concussed. So,
and he's drinking alcohol because they're taking Meredith's van, and she's got open bottles of liquor in her van.
That's right. I also love too when I think he calls his mom, if I'm not mistaken, at some point in there, and he talks about how no one's taking care of him.
I think so.
Great episode. I have the little Funko Pop by our basement stairs of Michael with the wrapped foot in crutches.
They made one.
Yes, I have that one. I have a couple office ones, but yeah, great episode. I also love when they're talking to the doctor, and I think Dwight does a "that's what she said" joke, and Michael gets, yeah. Is it red or is it red?
Damn it, Dwight, that's my joke.
Yeah. So there you go. That is my number 2. But on some days, I might bump that up and bump some of these other ones down. So there you go. The Injury is my number 2.
Nice. That is a very good one.
Yes.
My number 2 is The Dinner Party.
Oh.
This one is very good, very cringeworthy. There's a lot of very good, memorable points during that episode. Just Michael's swindling to get Jim and Pam to have a dinner party because he's been asking them for months, and he concocted having him stay late, and work through the night in order to do something. He made up something for corporate, had him do it, and then he fake yelled at corporate and said, "Don't worry guys, you can go home." And then hey, you guys want to have a dinner party? Oh, well, we got plans. No, you don't, because you're supposed to work all night. It was just genius for him to pull that off like that. And then just the whole, I think that they didn't even eat at the dinner party. No, they got there and the asabuka was still braising.
3 hours from now, or like 3 hours from earlier, like 4 o'clock.
Right?
Like that.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
and then
so
what did Jan say? Sometimes they don't eat in Spain
until midnight or something.
Yeah, something like that. And it's like, what? That doesn't even make sense.
That doesn't even make sense.
I love the charades game when Jim was just making
Tom
up.
Cruise.
Yep, he was deliberately saying the wrong person. It was the first like Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he did the rhyme. It rhymes with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
No rhyming. Yeah.
And Jim's like, that's not a rhyme.
No.
And
Glucose in the chat said he hasn't watched a ton of The Office, but I have a few that I remember loving. Yes, I would say stick to the first 6 seasons, and then you don't have to watch after that. That's my opinion. I don't know.
There's
a few here and there you can
Yeah.
pick, but I know Erica will watch any of them, and if it's on cable, which it's always on Comedy Central or I think Freeform. I don't know, but after season 6, I usually stop watching it. But that is such a good episode.
Yeah, and I still think, the part where she calls herself the devil, and then she does like the horns up, and then the fires are like directly behind her. That was just brilliant on the show's part to do that. But I still think in that episode she's poisoning Michael. And it has to do with them when they're drinking wine. When Michael takes a sip and he goes, it's got an oaky afterbirth. And Jim looks at him and says, what? To me, like, that's just Michael being weird.
Yes.
But like Jan quickly changes the topic. Like, she didn't want him talking about why the wine tasted funny or something, like, because why would anybody else say it has an oaky afterbirth? Like, someone would say what, and then someone would be like, "Oh, it tastes like an oak," or something weird. But I don't know how true that is. But I always thought that maybe she had put something in his wine or something like that, where she didn't want anybody talking about it. So then they quickly changed topic. I think that's when they started talking about. I don't know if they're talking about Michael's table building skills.
I can't, it's cherry.
They show the 2x4s.
Cherry, Brazilian cherry
right?
Or whatever. Or it's pine. I think it's pine. I mean, I'm not very good at building things, but I know I could build a better table than the one he built. So, yes. So,
that was my number 2.
I'm glad you brought that up, because that is my number 1. I have seen that episode so many times. Fun trivia fact: the crew said that was the hardest one to film because of so many times they broke and laughed during filming. God, okay, I don't know where to start, but I'm just looking at the quotes. The fact that they start, Michael and Jan have this huge argument in front of everyone, and Michael says, when I said I wanted to have kids and you wanted me to have a vasectomy, what did I do? And then you said you might want to have kids, and I wasn't so sure. Who had the vasectomy reversed? And then when you said you definitely didn't want to have kids, who had it reversed back again? Snip, snap, snip, snap, snip, snap. I did. You have no idea the physical toll that 3 vasectomies have on a person.
Just imagine being like, if that was you at your boss's dinner party and he just says that, like, oh my God.
Way oversharing. And then when they continue fighting about, I would love to burn your candles. Jan says, you burn it, you buy it. And he's like, that's great. I'd be the first customer. And she says, you're hardly my first.
Right.
To which he responds, that's what she said. So, oh my God. I'm just, I'm looking, oh, Pam, in Spain, they don't even start eating till midnight. And then Michael says, well, when in Rome, like just little quotes there and there. The fact that he's trying to get them to invest in her candle business. And when they're out in the garage and Andy's like, I'm in, let's go. What do you need? Like,
right.
Cause I love his character when he's the complete moron, Andy. Later in the show, when he becomes just a complete asshole, I could not stand his character at all.
Yep.
But yes, I'm looking. Oh, and then the CD from her assistant,
yes, Hunter.
Which I know we'll get into that. We can get into that a little bit later. But yeah, and then obviously, Pam thinking she's being poisoned too because Michael must have at one point told Jan that he dated Pam, which makes no sense. And then also, I love when he's got the plasma screen right there, and he's like, I put this up on the bracket, and sometimes we just need more room, so I just go. I mean, he literally moves it, half an inch further into the wall?
It doesn't come out at all.
Doesn't come out at all. And then obviously that gets destroyed when she throws a Dundee, and he screams, thanks, good luck paying me back on your $0 a year salary plus benefits, babe.
How much was that TV? Didn't you say $200?
$200. So that was a $200 plasma screen.
Just think like.
That's probably like a $50, $60 TV now.
Yeah, I mean you probably get a $200 plasma screen TV and you'd be like 30
40 inches,
30 40 inches, around there. Yeah, that's kind of funny that's how much it cost back then.
I think it was Walmart already had some Black Friday deals, and they had a 75-inch or 75-inch 4K LG or Vizio. And it was like $500. I'm like, I don't need another TV, but that seems like a great deal for a 75 inches gigantic. But that's my number one. Yeah, we only have a 55-inch, and that's perfect size. But yeah, that's my number one. I love that episode, so good. And in the beginning when he's on the horn with corporate, well, these are my friends, and I care about them. Okay, I mean, I've had some amazing coworkers, but I've never gotten that upset. But yeah, there
exactly.
You go. That's my number one.
Nice. That is a good one, but I'm sorry, Justin. This one was ranked 9.7 on IMDb.
I know.
You had this as number 4, which could not be more egregious. But Stress Relief is the best Office episode ever.
It's a good one.
It has literally the 2 funniest scenes in sitcom history. You can't you can debate a wall on that one. I mean, there's no way you can say that the scene with just the fire scene and the chaos of that when Dwight throws firecrackers and they start going off and Andy turns around and goes, the fire's shooting at us. It's just a complete he went to Cornell, how stupid can you be? What? And then during the Dwight's being scolded in New York, when they have the sit down meeting, he talks about how he didn't start a fire, but he actually did start a fire. He started a fire in the trash can. And then they do the whole the CPR training, which again, that is probably my favorite scene ever. That is the best scene of the whole episode.
That is a good one.
Just that, again, just the random chaos that happens during it, where they try to get Stanley to do the compressions after he's just had a heart attack.
Yeah, I think this would be therapeutic for you to do this. Yeah.
Right? How are you, Stanley? We're not going to be there when your heart gives out. What are you going to do? I will die. Are you going to live with that? Well, I can. I forgot what he says, what the quote is about how he understands the logic of it or whatever.
Yes.
But then, so Michael takes over, and then they're like, oh, you're supposed to be doing it to staying alive. And Michael goes, oh, I know that one. At first, I was afraid. I was petrified.
Yeah.
Singing, and then she goes, no, it's supposed to be, and then she starts singing it, and then Andy gets up and starts singing it, then Kelly starts dancing, and Creed goes, oh, I know you're the lady from the park. parking lot. Just the most random thing. And then I think my favorite burn from Michael was when he's like, well, she goes, well, assess the body. Well, Rose, he doesn't have arms or legs.
We need to talk about quality of life here.
Right at this point. And Kevin goes, well, I would still like to live. And Michael goes, well, you pretty much don't have arms and legs. That's pretty much how you live your life. And Kevin's just like staring at him like completely hurt. Like that cut him deep on that one. Just that whole scene was just completely random and hilarious. I think I crack up every time I watch that scene.
Well, and then they cut to Dwight, and he's got the face on him too.
Yeah, he cuts off the face after Stanley starts having like he's doing the compressions and needs to sit down and everything. And Dwight cuts off the face and then they go back to corporate, and then he's like, well, I was just doing it from Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah, it's actually very accurate. Yeah.
Right? Oh, yeah. So
and I love too, I don't know if it's the first or second one, when Michael walks over and he's like, this city. And then he wants to sit on the opposite side of the table, and he tells him to scoot down. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Yep, that's the same episode.
Yeah.
And he's got to get the signatures.
Yes.
The roast, everybody roasting Michael. So great.
It's just Oscar yelling at him in Spanish for 10 minutes.
And he just says, I think of myself as a good person, but I'm going to make him cry. Is what he says before they show him doing that. Yeah, and that also brings up the fun run episode where Pam burns Michael and says his thing is so small.
Yeah.
That was
so good.
Yeah, that was a great one.
That is a good one.
Cut off your nose to spider face when Jim's going through all the things of Michael. Yeah, God, I love that episode.
That is a good one.
The roasting of Michael on everybody else is great too. And like you said, that scene where he's not he's just like moping around outside and
sitting at the train tracks. Yeah.
Yep. And he's like, yeah, I always think if somebody's on a different planet looking at like a big, powerful microscope looking down on me, just thinking if I'm okay. And he like looks up at the sky, I'm okay. And then he looks at the camera, no, I'm not. It's just so depressed. After he did the roast because he wanted to, it's not like he
brought this on himself. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. So yeah, that is the best episode of The Office. I'm sorry, Justin, you were wrong in putting it at number 4.
It's a good one.
But yes, that is easily my number 1.
Very, very cool. Should we do honorable mentions and then jump into our listener stuff real quick?
Sure. Yeah. Right. I don't have any honorable mentions. I'll let you go.
Sure. I had 4. Best Christmas episode is Secret Santa, when he gets upset that Phyllis is also
Yankee
Santa.
Swap?
No, this is like season 5 or 6.
Okay.
It's when Phyllis is given the chance to be Santa. He flips out, so he takes off the Santa coat, turns it inside out, and
that's
I think
right.
He calls himself. He says he's Jesus.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. He's just like, oh, you got space garbage or something. I think when it was metal stuff for Dwight. Love that episode. That's also the episode where. What does Michael say to Kevin? Kevin wants to sit on his lap because Phyllis won't let him. He's like,
yes,
come sit on my lap and you will know I am the real thing, no doubt. And he's like, it's not a sex thing or something like that.
Exactly. And then he
that.
sits on his lap and Michael has him get off. And then Kevin just sits there and he goes, well, what do you want for Christmas? He goes, I don't know. No one's ever asked me that before.
He's like, oh, God, get off.
And then he wants Ryan to sit on his lap. I need this.
I need this. You can't keep chasing coworkers around telling them you need this. You can't do that. So that one.
Yeah, I like the part when he says he's Jesus Christ and Toby goes, you know how inappropriate this is. Oh, Satan, Lucifer. And he like touches his head and makes a hissing noise. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that was one. The Convict is another great one. with Prison Mike. Great. Love that.
Yep.
The deposition, when Jan is doing the deposition and kind of coaching Michael what to say so she can win her lawsuit. And I love the line Toby says, oh wait, no, I'm sorry, that's a different episode. But I love the fact that they give away Michael's journal to read, and Toby tries to befriend him, and Michael won't have it. And then lastly, the return when Andy comes back and loses his mom. I'm sorry, not Andy comes back. Oscar comes back, but Andy is there, and he's like being overly friendly to Michael and following him around.
Yes.
Jim does the prank by throwing his phone in the ceiling, and then he punches a wall. That's my other one.
That's a good one too.
That is
the Moroccan Christmas one is a good one too. That's the one where Michael takes Meredith to
rehab.
Yes.
I
have a deposit. As he's dragging her in, she's screaming no.
Yeah. And no, you can't make me.
Right, that whole thing of her resisting in the parking lot was hilarious.
Just chasing him around.
Wait, and then she takes off running.
Oh, that's excellent. Absolutely excellent. All right. Write-ins. You want to start or you want me to start?
You can start, Justin.
All right. Melissa wrote in number 5, second part of Niagara. Great episode. The Dundies. That's like season 1 or 2. The fire drill one, which we talked. Fire drill. I'm sorry. That's season 2, I think. With the we didn't start the fire, the cheesy pita in the toaster oven. Stress relief, which we just talked about, is number 2, and dinner party number 1 for her. She says, really, there's just dinner party and all the other episodes. That one night you made everything all right. So there you go.
Jenna writes in dinner party and safety training. Safety training is the one with the baler.
Yes.
Where Michael goes down to the warehouse.
Well, in an emergency, I could use it. No, you can't. Right? You can't use it.
Exactly. And then Michael, they tell, Daryl tells Michael he lives a Nerf life.
Yes.
And then he's going to jump off the building. Oh, he's going to kill himself, pretending to kill himself.
Yes.
Right?
I'm here for this. This is the second showing. I might bring my family for the third or whatever when he's doing the act. All right, Sean writes in. He says, Diversity Day, great early episode, dinner party, casino night, the first Michael Scott Paper Company, and one where Dwight and Michael go undercover at Prince Family Paper, honorable mentions, casino night, and Diwali. The Michael Scott Paper Company, I didn't like those episodes at first, but the episode where they admit they're broke and they go in and bargain to get bought out, I love that episode because they're so worried Michael's going to screw it up, and he manages to get it done. There you go.
That's a good one. Brian writes in the convict, the fight, dinner party, basketball, and safety training. All good ones.
Good episodes. Viv wrote in for her daughter, Vicky. Vicky said stress relief for sure. Yes.
Of course. Hugo writes in, is it weird that I've never seen a single episode of The Office? Well,
yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like it's like a cultural thing.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Karen wrote in, I've never seen the show. I don't like the guy. I'm assuming she means Steve Carell. She did not clarify. That's how my dad hates the show too. He will not watch it. He likes Steve Carell in other movies, but he hates the character Michael Scott. Absolutely hates him.
So, I can see that. I mean, he's a cringeworthy character.
Very much so. Yep. So
Lisa writes in safety training by far. Yes. That is a funny one. So
there you
not
go.
As good as stress relief though.
Erica writes in number 5. Oh boy, you need to talk to your sister. Number 5, she's got a 3-way tie between Murder, Yankee Swap, and Secret Santa. Yes.
I'm guessing Murders, is that the one where Michael pretends, where they do the murder dinner party game or whatever?
Yes.
Yes, that's
Bourbon,
a good one.
Bourbon, I can't remember, something in Bourbon.
Bourbon Street or whatever. Yeah. Something like that.
I got another warm body in the other room.
I like the, when Andy's doing the impressions.
Yes.
And Kevin goes, do Swedish Chef. What part is
province?
He from? Yeah, what province is he from? He's from Sesame Street, dumbass.
Yeah, that's a great one. She also says number 4, New Boss with Charles Miner. Number 3, Dinner Party. Number 2, The Dundies. And number 1, Stress Relief. There you go.
Part 1?
Part 1. Well, I think Stress Relief technically was it was an hour-long episode, but I know on cable or in syndication
they break it up into two.
Yeah, so they have that.
Joe writes in fire alarm drills episode, Andy's meltdown episode, basketball game episode, run/walk for AIDS episode. I'm assuming he means the
rabies
episode,
yes,
and
big difference.
Michael and Jan's dinner party episode.
Yes,
those are all very good.
Very good. Dr. Mantis writes in. We have not had a Dr. Mantis check in today. I'm a little disappointed.
No,
unless
I think he's got his pizza.
He's got his pizza. He's ready to go. He says Scott's Tots number 5. Oh God, that episode made me so uncomfortable the first time I watched it.
It makes everybody uncomfortable except for Dr. Mantis.
I'm sure it does. Number 4, Beach Games, great episode. Number 3, The Fun Run. Number 2, Dinner Party. And number 1, Stress Relief. Honorable mentions: the conflict, the injury, and safety training.
Good ones. Jaybird writes in Gossip, and that's the one where he tells Michael goes around.
Yes.
That was a later one with I think that's when he tells everybody about Pam and Jim's baby.
Yes.
But he didn't know about that one, and that's the one where he was telling everybody about Stanley and his mistress.
Yeah. Oh,
and that's the true one.
I love that part where he's like, all right, I already called his wife to check and see.
Yes, she was calling back.
And he calls her Cynthia, and he goes, okay, hello, Cynthia. And then he freaks out. And he goes, oh, sorry, 1 second, Cynthia. And then Jim just reaches over and disconnects the phone because it's already, it's over.
And he had a great plan, though, too. He's like, I'm going to talk to her about, redoing my
We're going to haggle.
She was like a design planner. And he was like, he was all perfect and set up. And then he called her Cynthia twice. That was great. But then Jaybird goes on number 4, the injury. Number 3, Goodbye Michael. Number 2, Stress Relief. And number 1, Dinner Party. So
there you go.
All good ones. Even though those two guys don't, they like Andor. So we can take their list.
I tell them they need to write in and tell me if I should watch Andor.
They would say yes.
I know they would. But Glucose writes in the chat, I don't know the episode names, but the ones where the girls make a picture of Dwight and tell Dwight that the guy is a pervert and he posts them around town. That is a great episode. That whole intro with the flashing and Michael comes in and just clearly doesn't get. He's like, the
sensitivity of it.
Yes, I think, and he's like, Toby, where were you for the last 20 minutes? Right. Show us your penis, and everyone's like, oh, Michael, too far. No, don't do that. So
I like Creed though. During the man was hanging brain. What's wrong with that? If that's a crime, then lock me up.
That's a great line. So
is that what Ladies Appreciation Day or something like that? Because then he ends up taking them to the mall and having them buy lingerie from Victoria's Secret.
Yes, and I think he's like, I wish for, what does he say? A brain for Kelly, a heart for Angela, and confidence for Pam. I don't remember what or courage for Pam, something like that.
Yeah.
So. Yes.
Then,
it's like
that's when he breaks up with Jan.
Yes. All right, buddy. It's not you. It's not me. It's you, or something like that. Then she walks in the door. Also, I love the scene where he's like, some women are wonderful drivers, and then they cut to Meredith scraping her van against someone.
Exactly.
Oh, that sound just it drives me insane. So there you go. We've made it through our Office episode. We've done it.
How do we do that?
I don't know. That was. I'm exhausted. I'm ready for bed.
I'm
now.
exhausted too. That was a marathon.
All right. Well, real quick. Again, subscribe to YouTube, youtube.com/baseball and whatever, or subscribe on Twitch, twitch.tv/baseball and whatever. Follow us on Twitter @baseball and what. That's the easiest way to get a hold of us. We're checking that on a regular basis. Email us at baseballwhatever@gmail.com. Leave us a 5-star review on your podcast app of choice, probably Apple or Spotify, and you can text us or leave us a voicemail. Oh, shit, Vinny, we got to play Cody's voicemail.
Oh, yeah.
All right, you can call us or leave us a voicemail at 1-913-808-3278. That number again is 1-913-808-FART. And last but not least, our guy, Cody Del Mendo of CHGO, was nice enough to write in. Here is his voicemail. Here we go.
Hey, guys. It's Cody from CHGO. I hope you understand. This is starting out swell. Anyway, I don't do these, but I saw your tweet, and you're talking about the top 5 episodes of The Office, and I love The Office. It's one of my one of my favorite shows of all time. And number one overall. And you can argue the second best one is number one, but for me, nothing makes me laugh more than the fake fire drill episode. When Dwight does the fake
Smart
fire
man.
drill, Stanley has a heart attack, and then they go through this training, and Michael is just classic Michael Scott. I don't know how else to really explain it. I think everyone knows what I'm talking about. But close number two is Dinner Party. Dinner Party is about as cringy as The Office has ever gotten, but that's what what makes The Office so great is everything's cringy. It makes it so funny. If you love dead humor, you love The Office. If you don't like dead humor, then you probably don't like The Office, and you're kind of weird to me. But whatever. Anyway, hope you guys are all doing well. Waiting for you guys to ask me to come back on the podcast again. I want to be back on. And if I don't talk to you soon or on social media, I hope you guys have a good holiday season. All right, bye.
Cody's awesome. Check out
That was
CHGO
great.
and CHGO_Cubs for all of the Cubs podcasts, video stuff on YouTube. They are awesome. But Cody nailed it. Those are clearly the top two. I think even in our write-ins, everybody had something good to say about those. Highly recommend them. And yeah, we are going to get Cody on. I talked to him this week on Twitter. He said to send him some topics. So Vinny and I need to figure out what Cody's into. We already talked about, I know he's into Air Jordans, and I don't know anything about Jordans. I've never had a pair of Jordans in my entire life. I don't know about you, Vinny, but
I don't think I have either.
no, I like them. I almost bought a pair this year because I was really looking at them, and then I cheaped out. Go figure. So there you go. I know that's a hard sell, hard to believe.
Right.
But let me find our outro music. Here we go. All right. That is it for us. We will be back, I'm assuming, next week, and then the week after that is Thanksgiving. So I don't know. Maybe we'll take the week off and and relax there and enjoy our turkey and all that good stuff. So we will be back next week with another episode. Please feel free to write in and tell us your favorite Office episodes if you didn't get to already. Tell us what you think about your baseball team, what they're doing with free agency. And if you don't live in Chicago, tell us if you're excited for Justin Fields like we are, because we might actually have a superstar in Chicago on our football team, which I would say Brian Urlacher was good. I don't know. Would you call him a superstar?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, an offensive superstar. Let's put it that way.
There we go.
All right. So on that note, we are Baseball and Whatever. We will be back next week. See y'all later, everybody.